Oh. Excellent. Hang on just one second. My Roomba decided to take off and is making too much noise. I'll be right back. Here we go. Continue. All right, Melanie, I'm assuming you can hear us. I see you have yourself muted.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you're good. You're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How do I get my picture off this page?
You are going to want to go to the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom window.
Mm-hmm.
And on view, you'll want to change it to, you probably just want to actually minimize it. There's a single bar, then there's double bars, then there's triple bars.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hit the single bar and it'll minimize it and make it very small.
Oh, I think I hit something wrong.
And then you should be able to see better.
I can see you. That's enough, right?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to make key fobs or key rings. We're going to create them in the software. We're using our wizards to do that, or assistants if you're on a Mac. They're called wizards on a PC. They're called assistants on the Macs. And here is one of the ones that I've done.
Ooh.
And I use these for my USB sticks because otherwise I lose USB sticks. I swear they scamper around the house like nobody's business. Here's another one. Whoops, that's the back that I've done. And here's another.
Ooh.
And again, they've all got my USB sticks on that. Whoops, I'm going the wrong direction. And then this one I think is very fun, where you can actually customize it and put your name on it. So we're going to work through those. I've used faux vinyl, faux leather, I guess. I did discover with the vinyl, it's somewhat stretchy. And so I ended up having to use a stretch needle. It was misbehaving a lot until I switched needles. So you may have to use a different needle for that. So today, I would suggest, as we're looking at our instructions, that we create a folder for our key rings inside of our My Designs folder. So
Okay.
I will show you how to do that. And you know, Carol, you're going to go to Finder.
Mm-hmm.
Yours. Let me come over here. Melanie, are you new to software altogether, or are you pretty familiar with it?
I'm new to it all.
So, okay. Yes. All right. Very good. I just wanted to check. So if you have a question, please be sure to unmute yourself and ask. Stop me if I go too fast. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So here is my screen. You should all be able to see my screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So on a PC, what we're going to do, come on here. Oh, silly. Hang on just one second. Sorry. Here we go. It took away my people when I did this. So on a PC, in order to create a file folder, you would go down to your File Explorer. Carol, you're going to Finder.
Okay, but I didn't see what.
Do you not have a house over on the left in your favorites?
My favorites.
When you do
all
Finder,
I have is your screen.
Oh, you got to minimize me. Get me out. Oh. I'm going to show you how. Then I'm going to give you back your screen. My bad. Hang on. Okay, so you're watching a PC version right now. I'll give you back your screen in just a moment.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Okay, I got to get in my head what we're doing here. So I'm going to File Explorer if I'm on a PC, and then I'm going to go to Documents, and then I'm going to go to Premiere Plus 2 and open that. And then I want to open My Designs because that's where we want to store all of our designs. When I open My Designs, I have a lot of folders. So it's a little daunting to look at, but once I open up My Designs, you'll go to the ribbon bar up here and you'll say New Folder. And you will be given the opportunity to create a new folder. And I'm going to call mine Key Rings. So I'm going to type in the word Key Rings. There's still a box around it, so I have to hit Enter. And then it made my folder called Key Rings. Okay. So where's my, hello? Oh, there you are. Everything keeps rearranging itself. I was trying to stop sharing so you could create your folder. So again, PC users, you're going to go to File Explorer. You're going to double click the Premiere Plus 2 folder. You're going to double click My Designs. You can either right click or use the new folder icon up there in the ribbon bar and make a new folder and call it Key Rings. Carol, how are you doing?
I haven't, okay, I'm down to my Finder,
Okay.
but I don't see a house.
I don't know why it's there sometimes and why it's not. Some people automatically have that file structure, some don't. So you're going to, this is hard to say, up at the top, next to where it says Finder, there is a tab called Go. Do you see that?
Nope.
It's up at the very top of your screen. Tippy top. It should say File, Edit, View, and Go.
Oh, there. I thought right under it. Yeah, okay, I've got Go.
Click on Go, then click on the house.
Oh, okay.
Or home.
There
I
you
think it
go.
says Home.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you should see Premiere Plus 2 in the list of folders.
See.
They should be alphabetical.
There it is. Okay.
Okay. Click on that.
Yep.
And then click on My Designs.
My Designs. I do not have My Designs.
When you click on Premiere Plus 2, you don't have My Designs?
Am I supposed to have, oh, here, wait a minute. You want the, I've got Premiere Plus 2 up.
Right.
And am I at the top or the right for designs?
We should be in Finder right now. We should have a Finder window open. Yay, nay?
I did have, I went to the bottom of my computer and got Finder.
Yep.
And then I went and found, I'm sorry if I'm holding people up, Go,
Right.
and I'm going to Home,
Yes.
and I've got Music, Public, Premiere 2, Cloud, Desktop, Documents.
Premiere 2. Click on Premiere 2.
Okay, that I did that part. Okay, here's Premiere 2.
Now the next column should say My Designs. Is that correct?
Oh, I've got folders, but I don't have anything that says My Designs.
What do your folders say?
Now, I did it when you walked me through it earlier, but
What are the names of the folders that you're seeing?
Guides, README Premiere, Backgrounds, Apps, Components, Samples, System, and Samples.
Where in the world did your My Designs folder go? Okay, let's just create a folder right there and call it Key
Okay.
Rings. Okay, so do a right click and call it key rings, and then I'll meet with you separately and we'll figure out where in the world my design's
A
scampered
right
off.
click.
That's your 2 fingers on the
Yeah,
mouse
oh,
pad.
gotcha. Okay, new folder, and then you want me to name it key rings?
Key rings, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and don't let me forget, we'll get back together and we'll get your file structure straightened out.
Okay, I've got my key rings folder there.
Excellent. So you can close that now.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I've got a screen in front of me.
You have what?
Now I've got the,
Premiere.
yes.
Okay. So everybody else, go ahead and open your Premiere Plus embroidery. And Melanie, I'm assuming that you know how to do that, or you would be asking. Okay, so once we get Premiere Plus 2 open, I skipped reset all modules. If we discover that we don't match up somewhere, we'll figure out what's going on. But some of you do applique all the time, and I just kind of hate to goof you up. Okay, I'm going to do a share screen. And I am going to show you our next steps. So we are first and foremost going to change our hoop size. This is what popped up for me. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, there, that's
Yes.
So to change hoops, we have 2 ways we can do it. We can go up here in our quick access, or we can come all the way over to the right on the ribbon bar. And that's where it is for you too, Carol, is over on the right on the ribbon bar, and we can say change hoop.
okay.
When I do a change hoop, I get the hoop group and the hoop size. For today, I'm going to click the drop down arrow and I'm going to put us all in the exact same hoop so that everything looks the same. So I'm going to go to the universal hoop group. You'll notice that all the different manufacturers of machines are listed here. So when you're doing this on your own, you can jump in and use the hoop group that matches your machine. I'm going to say universal, which is what we're going to use for today. And then we are going to use the 150 by 150 hoop. So hoop group will be universal. Hoop size will be 150 by 150. And we are using it in its natural rotation. So and it's a square hoop. So usually that doesn't matter anyway. And we're going to say, okay. So I will have all of you go ahead and go into your hoop, change your hoop brand to universal, and choose a 150 by 150 hoop, and then say okay. Thumbs up once we've got that from those of you I can see. Some of you are just names. You're not sharing your picture today. You good, Jan?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to my screen and show you our next step. So we are going to go to the wizards if we're on a PC, which is one of the tabs across the top of the screen. If we're on a Mac, we're going to go to the lightning bolt assistance. Okay, I'm going to click on wizards. Once I choose wizards, you'll see that we have wizards for many things. We can do express monograms. We can set an embroidery up as an endless embroidery, meaning if I want to go all the way around the tablecloth, I can stitch out a piece of the design. It'll put reference points for me so that I can move the fabric in the hoop and start again, and it'll space everything out perfectly. Express design allows me to take a photograph or digital art. No, I shouldn't have said photograph. That's not right. digital artwork and turn it into stitches. So I can turn a logo into stitches if I have camera ready art to do that. I can do photo stitch where I take a picture and turn it into stitches. There's word sculpt, which allows me to take a shape and fill it with all sorts of words about it. So I could take a coffee cup and fill it with Java and Joe and beans and all that kind of stuff. Quilt block allows me to do quilting in the hoop around an embroidery, without an embroidery. I can do a family tree. I can do project in the hoop, which is what we're going to do, or I can do a split project. Some of you have been in class with me. You've heard me talk about a split project. Often, if I'm going to do a giant table runner, I will set a hoop the size of the table runner so that I'll create a hoop that size in the software so that I can distribute things and make the software work for me. And then I'll do the split project wizard to break it apart into sizes that fit my hoop. So project in the hoop is where we're headed today. So I'm going to click on that. And this is the project in the hoop wizard. It'll be the assistant on the Mac. And I have categories, styles, and dimensions. And last but not least, down here, I have view PDF instructions. So when you purchase a design, especially like Kimberbell, there are instructions for you on how to stitch it out and what the different steps mean. We have that in our project in the hoop also. So if I click this drop down under category, you see I can make a book cover, a card holder, key rings, luggage tags, novelties, passport covers, or a phone case. We're going to work with key rings today, so that will be my category. Then under style, I have, there's more options with the updates. We didn't used to have a blank diamond, I don't think. We've got arrowheads, flower, initial, motif circle, motif diamond, rainbow, sewing machine, tulip, blank circle, and blank diamond. We are going to do the arrowhead first, just to get our feet wet and see what we're up to. And then I want to go ahead and bring up the PDF instructions. So when I click that, it will open in Adobe for me. And these can be printed. Keyring project. Let's not help me right now. So the default size of the keyring project is a typical size, but you can make it bigger or smaller if you choose. It tells you that the bobbin thread will be visible on the back. So you want to choose a color that works well with your designs and fabrics. The borders of the keyring may have raw edges. So you want to use something that will not fray. Vinyl, faux leather, felt works well too. You can play through the design so that you can see how it's going to stitch out. And then they say, read them all before you start. Gee whiz. And you can make the, you can make the loop in different ways. I use the fabric that I was making it out of when I did mine, but you could use some sort of ribbon or something like that if you preferred as well. So this is a generic set of instructions, if you will, because you're going to do your key rings differently, but it does tell us that the steps are all very similar, even though they have a different number of color blocks. So it tells you what's going to happen. There's going to be a placement line, a stitch line to secure the material, you fold for the loop, and then the final thing. So sorry, I'm going too fast. You put the material on the front, and then it shows you what's going to happen in the instructions. And then it tells you how to make the loop. I will tell you that I shortchanged myself on the loop. I make it a little bit longer than they tell me to, because it seemed like I came up short. I was trying to be frugal. You don't need to be frugal. And then you put the backing on last, and that finishes out your key ring. And then it shows you what it all looks like. So those are the PDF instructions. Again, you can print those if you would like. So that is in all of these in the hoop projects. The PDF is down there for you. I'm going to say, okay. Here I am, and it's going to ignore me. Hello. Just thinking about it. Okay, so there is my arrowhead keyring in my hoop. So I'm going to let you all go and explore that and get there. So we started with step number 11 on our sheet. So you'll either be clicking on wizards or assistants. You're going to go. What's the matter, Carol?
I don't, when all that stuff was up, the PDF, I'm sorry, I'm confused.
That's okay.
Okay, now you want me to click on assistance
Yes, ma'am.
and then,
Project in the hoop.
there we go, assistant, gotcha. And we're
And
going
your
to
category is key ring.
keyring and arrowheads is the one.
Yep.
So,
And if you would like to look at your PDF instructions, you can click that bar down at the bottom.
I'll just
Where it
print it
says-
and go on.
View PDF instructions. And then you have to close the PDF so you get back to your embroidery so you can see your arrowhead on the screen.
Got it. Okay, close it.
Okay.
Okay, now I've got the two up here, category and style. So arrowheads, if it's style, that's what I'm gonna hit, right? If I hit okay, that'll come up.
Yes.
There it is, okay.
Excellent. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how this arrowhead would stitch out, because the design player shows us step by step what's going to happen. But in order to get to my design player, which will be over here on the right in the ribbon bar, I have to go back to my home tab. I'm on the wizards tab right now. So I have to go back to home. You don't, Carol. There is no home. And we're going to go over to the design player, which is on the far right in the ribbon bar. And when I click on that, it brings up a little window called design player. And I can make that bigger so you guys will be able to see it a little bit better. And when I click play, it will start stitching out the design. Now, I can double the speed of the play, if you will, by hitting fast forward. Every time I hit fast forward, it doubles the speed. So I'm going to double it a couple of times. I don't want to go too fast because I want you to see it stop. So there's our outline stitch. And then it says place the material for the front of the key ring. So step by step, it tells us what's happening. So then you put your fabric on, and then you can't, well, you can see, you see it stitching. It's stitching the fabric in place. Then it starts doing the embroidery. I'm going to speed it up again. And after it has done all of the embroidery, it will tell you to stop and place the backing fabric. So I'm going to let you watch that on your own screen. I'm going to come back and give it to you so that you can do a design player playthrough. So it looks like a play button in the upper right-hand corner of the ribbon bar. On the PC, it is gold colored. On the Mac, it's green.
Mm.
Did you find it?
No.
No.
I'm
Okay.
back on my screen now. I'm not on the other one. I see hoop, design. And is it the thing that's, did you say that looks like newsprint? No, that's not it.
Above that, go up higher, go farther right. See where it says preview?
Yes,
There should
got
be
it.
a green triangle pointing to the right. Click on that.
I did. Okay, now.
And then you want to click the play button in the left-hand corner down at the bottom of that window.
See, play button.
It's the triangle pointing to the,
Oh, dummy. Okay. Yeah, it's stitching out now.
Gary, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I have to go back to home.
Yeah, yeah. That darn home button, and Carol doesn't have to do that. So she does get one benefit being on the Mac. She's got one less step. And then you can double the speed of the stitch out by hitting the fast forward button if you want to see it stitch out a little bit faster.
Okay.
And every time you hit the fast forward, it doubles in speed.
Oh, heck,
If
I
you go
went
too
over.
fast, you'll see those words fly by.
Yeah, I did. Stop.
And then you can just,
Material. Okay, I do that. So now I'm already at placing material, and do I close this now?
yeah, you can just cancel it. I just want everybody to know it's there. There are times when it is super, super helpful to watch a design play out because it gives you a good sense of what's gonna happen. Okay, so I'm back to sharing my screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have multiple windows of Premiere open, just so I can thoroughly keep your brains engaged. So I'm going to come up here to File, and I'm going to say New Window. The difference between New and New Window is if I say New, it will obliterate what I've already got and give me a brand new window. I think it'll ask me if I want to save it. If I say New Window, it will open a second window of Premiere. So I said New Window, it's thinking. There it is. I have a second window of Premiere open. I can tell I have a second window open because if you look down here in my taskbar, you can see that there are multiple layers on that Premiere Plus. So when I hover over it, I can see my original key ring and I can see my new window. Okay, so I'm going to have you all open a new window. On the Mac, it is just File, New. PC users, don't listen to me right now because you need to do a File, New Window.
So I'm just hitting File New.
On top of the one you were just in.
I'm sorry, I missed the whole beginning of that sentence.
It opens a new window of Premiere right on top of the other one.
Okay, but I don't have File Window. I mean New Window. I just hit New.
Correct.
Okay, there it is.
Correct. And you may have to drag it bigger if you want it bigger because it sometimes it
Pretty
opens
big.
smaller. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you my screen. I'm back on my new window of Premiere. I'm going to change my hoop. So I'm going to come up here to change hoop. And for this one, we are going to use universal because that's what we do in class. And we're going to use a great big giant hoop this time because we're going to collect up all of our pretty key rings and put them in one hoop eventually. So I'm going to use the 360 by 200 large hoop. And I'm going to change the rotation. See how it gives me a preview of how it's going to look on my screen? I want to do rotated for this one and put it horizontally on the screen. And I'm going to say, okay. So now I have a large hoop on my screen, rotated sideways. I can see that it's the 360 by 200 right here. And I'm going to have you all do that in your new window. So remember, hoop is in the ribbon bar. It's up on the right-hand side-ish. And you'll do a change hoop. Your category is universal. And your hoop size is 360 by 200. And then you
What's
want
that
to,
in inches? I don't have a certain, I only go 8 by 12.
Right. Don't worry about that for today.
Okay.
I'll show you how to get it into your own hoop when we
Okay.
get toward the end of class. Somewhere I have a list of conversions for all of the hoops.
Well,
but I
that's
don't.
okay. We'll do it later. I've got it up on now.
Okay, excellent. All right, so our next step is we are going to come down here and hover over our Premiere at the bottom so we can see both of them. I'm going to go into my arrowhead window and I am going to click on cut, and it's probably going to ignore me because, oh no, it didn't. It did grab it. Okay, so when I click cut, it puts a copy of the design in the clipboard. I'm going to come back down here to my P+, and I'm going to go to my big hoop, and I'm going to click paste. So we've used cut and paste, and it's going to put my arrowhead design into my new big hoop. And when I use cut, well, that's interesting. It's still left it in the original hoop. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to have you all do that. So your steps are a little bit different, Carol, because you don't have that cut and that paste icon in your ribbon bar. So you will be using the edit tab to accomplish
Okay.
that.
At the top.
Edit cut and then edit paste when you're where you
Okay,
want
I have to get to the back to the other screen. I'm on the new one.
Okay, so look down there in your dock and hover over the P+, and you'll see
Okay.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Click into the one that has the arrowhead.
Wait a minute. I don't see that.
Oh, you know what? That's not how it works for you. You have to do the 4-finger swipe up so you can see your other one.
So I put 4 fingers on the P+ at the bottom and swipe it up.
No, just put 4 fingers on your mouse pad and swipe
Okay.
up, and then you'll see your arrowhead. Click on
I got
that
all
one.
kinds of stuff on here now.
I'm sure you do. Everything you've got open just showed up.
Okay, so I'm hitting untitled. I mean, I'm
Correct.
hitting.
Yep. Go
Am
into
I
the one with
dragging also?
No, you're not dragging. No drag. No drag drop. Nope, nope,
Okay.
nope, 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 nope. Click on the edit tab up at the top. Once you're click into that one.
I can't even find it. I've got a whole screen of screens open, and here, let me get to this. Okay, edit,
Cut.
copy. Oh, I don't. Oh, hold on.
Copy will work too. Either one.
Okay, copy is what I've got,
Okay.
and then I want to.
4-finger swipe. Do your 4-finger swipe so you can find your empty hoop.
Here it is, right here, and then
Click
I
into
hit
there
paste.
and click paste. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've got it.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So now what we're going to do, I've got a bunch of screens open too. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right one. Okay, so we're going to do another key ring, and this is not in your instructions. I'm going to go ahead and just use my left mouse button and drag that over out of the center, because I have a feeling when I do my new one, it would have plunked it right on top of it. So I just drug it over to the side by clicking with my left mouse button and pulling it to the side. Now I'm going to go back to the Wizards tab. Wait a minute. Oh, that's why we didn't have to do that. I lied. Let me back up for just a second. I actually tell you to go back to here. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to click on this. So I'm back in my small hoop, and I'm going to click delete. So I put a box around it, then I'm going to click delete. Now I'm going to my Wizards tab, and we're going to look at project in the hoop. I'm going to go back to my key ring as my category. I'm going to go to style, and this time I'm going to choose the flower. And I'm going to say, okay. Boy, my computer is thinking hard this morning. So there is the flower key ring. Now, I want you to notice that the handles around the key ring are green. And that means that I can change the size of this and it will compensate stitches for me. So in other words, some of you are very familiar with this. For some of you, it's new. If I look at my design panel, I have 5,346 stitches in this key ring right now. If I grab a hold of that corner and I make it bigger, notice that it added stitches so that it won't be see-through. It's now 7,890 stitches. So the software says, oh, well, if you're going to make it bigger, then I need to add some more stitches. Otherwise, it won't look the way it looked initially. Also, conversely, I sure would like to know why my computer's moving so slow today. If I make it small, it compensates and takes out stitches. Now I have 2,980. I think it's almost more important that it does the compensation when you make it small, because otherwise you can end up with a bulletproof patch and you break needles. Okay, so I don't want that size. So I'm going to, for PC owners, I'm going to do undo, which is the back arrow up here, and undo to get it back eventually to its original size. So I'm undoing my way back until it is the 5,346 stitches. On a Mac, the undo is under, see the editor of the design. It's under the edit tab. So if you ever need to undo what you're doing on a Mac, it's on the edit tab. For PC owners, it's this blue back arrow. And if you go back too far, you can redo. So those are both there. All right, so let's let you guys get this design open and on the screen. So you can go back to your small hoop, which is an open window. And if your design is still there, you can just click on it. So there's a box around it and then delete it.
Are you talking to me now?
Talking to everybody.
Oh, well, I'm trying to get that small hoop. Let me see. Hoop.
You must not ever turn your Mac off. You have hundreds of screens open, apparently.
I've got, I don't know. So now I'm going back to the small hoop,
Yes, that's correct.
which is 150 by 150.
Is the original design still in there?
It's over on the other one. Yeah. No, it's not on it here now.
It's not there. I don't know why mine say. I thought I did a cut. Maybe I did a copy. Okay, so
you-
go to your business, go to your assistants now and do the flower key ring.
Are you hearing an echo? Because I am.
Libby, you sound funny.
No, I'm not.
All of a sudden, your computer doc started weird talking.
Yeah,
Oh, am I doing the Darth Vader thing again?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's no delivery truck. Okay, so did it?
Okay. No, I've got my flower. Am I transporting it over to the other screen now?
Not yet.
Okay.
Am I still Darth Vader or is it clear enough?
No, you're Darth Vader.
Oh, how weird. Wonder why.
Libby, that's scary sounding.
Recently.
You sound scary. You would scare small children with that voice, Libby.
Are you speaking, Libby?
No, I'm not. I'm trying
Oh,
to.
okay.
I'm gonna see if I can dial in and use my phone instead of my computer to get rid of this Darth Vader business. Okay, is this better? Oh, no, now I'm going.
No.
Hang on.
Oh,
Okay. Is that any better?
too low.
Hear you, Libby.
Not loud enough?
Yeah, not loud enough.
All right. Is that any better?
Much.
Awesome. Okay. Here we are. All right. I've joined the meeting on another device. We're trying all sorts of things to make it work, but I sure don't want to be Darth Vader. Thanks anyway. Let me know if there's an issue, but we'll try this. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again. And we are going to, I'm back on my flower, and I want to do a preview of this also. So I'm going back to the Home tab, and I'm going to click on my design player, and I'm going to click play, and I'm going to speed it up just a little bit so I can watch this one stitch out also. So it shows me my outline, then it'll say stop, place the material, and it shows the stitch out. And actually, I think this is where I got in trouble. You'll notice that the original outline, the break was here, and so I was cutting my fabric really short, and you need to allow a little extra on that tab just so you don't end up messing yourself up when you stitch them out. I'm going to fast forward one more time so I can watch that stitch. And it's going to use these colors. There we go. It's going to finish out the stitch out. It'll do a stop. It's going to go by pretty quick. I've speeded it up. Outlining it right now. And still outlining at its center. Stop. Fold the strip of material, secure it, and attach the back. And then that finishes it out. So there's your design player. I'll let you guys take a look at this one. Go ahead and go to your design player. So PC users, you have to go to the Home tab to do that. Carol, you just go to the upper right where the green arrow is and click on Preview, and it'll play it out.
Oh, I'm on the, no, this is the original one. So I'm on the, what the heck happened there? Hold on.
Do your four-finger swipe to find your flower.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, there it is. Okay, learning that. And it goes back to the original one. I need to delete that, don't I?
Which hoop are you in right now?
Let's see. This is sitting in the smaller of the hoops. The, what do you call it? The 150 by
The
150?
150 by 150, and it's going back to the arrowhead?
Well, I've
instead of the
got
flower?
a flower. Oh, wait a minute. Is the flower supposed to be in the bigger one? Hoop?
We're going to put them both in the bigger one eventually. So I just wanted you to play out the flower one in your design player so you could see it stitch.
Okay, now I've got it here and it's in a hoop. And I'm looking right at it. And then when I go to the design,
What-
it goes, when I go to
Okay.
play the design, it flips back to the arrowheads every time.
Okay. Go to the flower one again.
Okay.
Okay, click on the flower.
Okay.
Do you
Try
have
it
green
now.
boxes around it?
Sorry, I
Do you have
cussed.
green boxes at the corners?
Wait a minute. No, I've got blue edges.
Okay, all right, that's okay. Make sure when you go to click preview that you're clicking it in the window that you're in, that you're not accidentally picking up the preview from the
Oh,
window
it
that's
looks like
open.
maybe I am. But in the window that I'm in, I don't even see preview up there.
That's because it's small. You're gonna have to drag that window bigger.
Oh,
There
okay.
should be like a double black arrow over there at the upper right. If you click that, it'll give you preview.
Okay, let me see. I clicked it. Oh, and there's preview. Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes when our screen is small, it can't fit it all.
Oh, come on. I'm clicking. Oh, here. Design player then. Now I've got them both
Yeah.
up. And then I click on the, Jesus. And then I click on the one I want to do.
You should be
I
able to
have-
just click play.
Oh, okay. Well, now it's redoing the arrowheads because they were both on the same screen.
Okay, well, it's gonna do that first and then the other one second. So
Right.
that's okay. You
Okay.
can just click cancel or watch it or whichever.
I'm going to close it. All right.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen again. And I have, and I think most of you have, 2 windows of Premiere open. So if I come down here and I hover over this, and Carol, again, you've got to swipe to see it. I can see my arrowhead is in my big hoop and my flower is in my small hoop. So I am going to cut this design and hopefully it's going to behave the way I expect it to. So when I click cut, I must have clicked copy before. I sure didn't think I did. When I click cut, it takes it out of the little hoop and it puts it on my clipboard so that it's being held until I tell it where I want it to go. I'm going to come back into the big hoop by hovering down here and clicking in. And now I can paste this key ring in to the big hoop with my arrowhead. And it pastes it right in the center. And so then I can put them up here side by side. So we're starting to create a sampler of key rings for ourselves. Okay. So everyone go ahead and cut your flower out of the first hoop and paste it into the second one. So Carol.
I'm going to have to make the hoop larger that my arrowhead is in, which I'm preparing to do. And you want that
Okay.
at 360 by 360, right?
360 by 200, the universal hoop that's 360 by 200, and make
Okay.
it rotated so that it's horizontal instead of up and down. Okay?
Now let me rotate it. And that is,
That's in the change hoop window.
oh, it's already done there. So
Oh,
now I
awesome.
can move this to the corner.
Yep.
And now I want to get the other hoop and do, I've clicked on it and I'm going to copy, edit, copy.
Yep.
Oh, and now it says paste onto center. I might have already done that.
Okay, so go to your big hoop and do a
Okay,
paste,
I got copy.
edit paste.
And I go to big hoop here, edit, paste. Okay, and then I'm just going to make it in a little more comfortable space over there?
Yeah.
Oh no, the whole thing moves together. So how do I just make part of it move? When I did that, both of them moved. Both my design, oh, I have to get it out of the box there.
You got it. You figured that out on your own. Good job.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay, that's done.
We have
Now
two
we're-
brand new users to the software with us today. So here we are. Good job. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going to look at the next, one of the next key rings in there. So I'm going to go back down to my little hoop, just so I'm in a blank hoop when I look at it. I'm going to go back to my 150 by 150. So I'm hovering over the bottom and I'm clicking into here. I'm going to my wizards. I'm going to projects in the hoop. I'm going to category key ring. Can you tell I believe in learning by repetition?
It works.
In here. Initial, we're going to the initial key ring this time. Apparently I missed. So there's my initial key ring. And I'm going to say, okay. Now, this one looks a little bit different from the other two. If I come back over here and I bring up the other two, I have green handles around there. If I click on the arrowhead, I have green handles around it. Remember, green in my brain says go, meaning I can make it bigger or smaller and it will change the number of stitches for me, okay? But when I come over here to my initial key ring, I have orange or brown handles, orangish color handles. That means there is more than one design inside of this box. You can faintly see the green boxes underneath, indicating that it is still movable, but there's more than one design in this hoop right now. And that's because if you look really close, there are green boxes around the initial, which will allow us to change the initial. So this is a two-part design. I'm going to go to Home. And I am going to go to Restrict Groups. And when I go to Restrict Groups, now I see green boxes again, and I can really faintly see my orange boxes underneath, indicating that there are two designs here, that this is a group design, but I've got them restricted right now. So now I can either use my previous and next design up here to move through the designs. On the Mac, it's design, next design, I believe, Carol.
Okay, I'm looking.
It would be a same number that we're on, so it would be,
It says click tab to advance to the next design.
yeah, you can get there a bunch of different ways. So you can tab your way. If I click on tab, it takes me to my initial. If I click tab again, it takes me back to the rest of the key ring. If I'm on the Home tab, I can use next design or previous design to move through. So there I'm on my initial, and next design puts me back out on my big design. So
Now, what are the words I'm looking for?
hang on just a second. Let me stop the share and let everybody get this one up
Okay,
on the
sorry.
screen. Nope, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our small hoop. And we're going to open up we're going to go to the wizard or the assistant, and we're going to bring up the initial key ring. move you over. Time. Okay. Cool. All right, here we go. All right, so did everybody get the initial up there? And restrict their groups so they can move between the initial and the key ring.
So we're like at 27A, that's where we stop, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. We have not changed the properties yet. We're just getting it split apart so that we can. Okay, Carol, to move between the two designs, have you restricted your groups yet?
No, I don't even know where that is.
Okay, that's up there in your ribbon bar to the left of where you change your hoop. See the group, the word group with the different icons above it?
Let me see.
So in the
Well,
ribbon bar,
I'm on the ribbon bar. Okay,
okay,
group, I got you.
and it's the third icon is restrict group.
The words don't come up, but now, right now, before I do anything, I'm stuck on the large screen with two things on it. Now, you want me to go sweep up and get the original.
The key ring with the initial in it, do you have that in your hoop, in one of your hoops?
For God's sake, I just lost it. I can't get I'm trying to hoop up to, swipe out. Okay. Now, when I go back to the small hoop, I've still got that flower in it and I'm trying to get rid of it. And I keep hitting edit and all I get is copy, not cut.
Okay. You will need to click on the flower key ring so that there is a box around it.
Got
then
it.
To be able to edit, delete.
Okay, gone.
There
Now,
you go. So
and
go to assistant.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And designing the hoop. And you want me to go to the monogram?
Not the express monogram.
No, the initial, sorry.
Yeah, initial.
So,
It does look like a monogram, but there's also a monogram wizard. I wanted to make sure we were in the right place.
okay. So now I've got the double hoops and what I want to do is go to modify.
No, we're not modifying yet.
Oh, what am I doing to get those green buttons in front of it?
Okay, so do you have the initial key ring on your screen?
I do.
Okay, so now you want to go up to group and use the third icon to restrict groups.
God. Hold on, sorry. Now I'm starting to use
Okay.
bad words. Group.
Just a little bit to the left of where you change your hoop.
Oh, you know what? There. Restrict groups, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's because it's a small screen. I had to enlarge the screen and there it
Got
was.
it. Got it.
So now I've got the
Okay.
green dots.
Yes, and tab does not move you between the two different designs. You have to hold down the command key on your keyboard
Mm-hmm.
and then touch your right arrow and it will put a box around just the initial.
Okay, now hold on. Command and
So
touch
command right arrow.
Where's right arrow? I don't. You mean
Bottom
the
right
bottom
hand side
corner?
of your key. Yeah.
Okay. No,
So
when I
now
did
you have a
that,
box around the initial, right?
yes, I do.
Yay! So command right arrow will move you through your designs. If you hit it again, it'll put you back out at the key ring. Command arrow will take you to the initial. Okay, so
Okay,
get a
what-
box
what do you-
around your initial and then sit tight for a second.
Oh, good. Okay.
Shoo, shoo, shoo. All right. So on the PC, you can either use previous and next design, or the tab key will take you, I gotta get on the screen. Hello. Tab key will take me to where my initial, and you know, that's really hard to see because it's green leaves and then there's green boxes. So it's kind of hard to tell when you move in, but you can see those light group boxes around it. I can tell I'm on the initial because there's only one color in my design panel right now. When I hit tab and I get a box around the whole key ring, I've got two colors. Well, there's actually three parts to this design. Okay. So there's my two colors and then there's my three colors. So anyway, here is my letter, and I am going to right click on my letter, and that will bring up a big drop down list of things that I can do. The key one for me is properties. So I'm going to go into properties, the properties of the letter, and there is all of the information about the letter that is in there. It is currently the Olympia font. It is a letter M. Here's the size, shape, all sorts of things. For today, we're going to look at a different font because I don't like the Olympia for an L especially. And when I click the drop down arrow under fonts, it brings me into all of my fonts. We have lots and lots of letters. They are in order by groups. So these are all applique letters. Then I have children letters. Display is a category. There's effects, elegant. I think I'm going to try the elegant just for, oh, maybe I'm not. Me, I could. Where'd that go? I lost it. I'm going to do elegant. And I am going to change the letter to L. Whoops, need to do a capital L. L. And I'm going to say okay. And it changed my letter to my initial. Okay. I'm going to have you all do that. So you need to tab to the letter or command arrow to the letter in Carol's case. And then make sure it works the way I expect it to. And arrow. And then you right click on the letter, which is a 2-finger click on your keyboard or on your mouse pad, and then go to properties. If you want a different font than what is there, you simply click in the box where the Olympia font is, and it will bring up the gallery for you, and then you can choose another font.
Libby, is there a way to preview the different letters?
It shows you just the A, the B, and the C as your preview. And so you kind of have to try. You've got a first initial like I do, Jerry, and sometimes the J's are not
Weird.
very pretty. Yeah, and L's are the same way. I get all sorts of weirdness with L's. So you just kind of have to keep trying them. I know that there are certain fonts that I don't like the L in at all. But remember, you can just keep right clicking and going back into properties. So you don't have to delete and replace. You can just keep trying it through properties. Okay, so did everybody get their initial?
I'm still
into the
choosing.
key ring?
When you put those initials in, can you change the color as well? Because I
Yes,
chose
ma'am.
one. I'm gonna stick with the one I found, but it didn't show up well. And I thought I would change the color.
Okay, yes, we can do that.
All right, I'm doing it.
And I
Cindy,
will,
what size are these letters supposed to be again, please?
the default, when we brought it up in the key ring, I believe was 15. And if you just, when you go into properties, it's 15 millimeter. When you choose your letter, it's staying at that 15 millimeters because we're not changing the size.
Okay, I wanted to make sure, so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So coming back. So to Carol's point, if we want to change the color of the letter, because all of the fonts come in some sort of predefined letter, we're simply going to come over into our design panel and we would click on the color. For a PC user, I have to double click. I'm pretty sure for a Mac, I only single click. So I double click it and it opens up my color window. So then I can scroll through the colors and pick a different one. So if I want it to be some sort of a pretty blue, I can click on that and I can say, okay. And now I have a blue for my letter. Okay, so go ahead and select a different color if you would like. So you'll click on the color and then scroll through the colors and pick something that you like. And then you say, okay, and it changes the color for you. All right. Everybody good?
Mm-hmm. It's
All
hard
right,
to find
here we
one
go.
that fits in there.
It's hard to find one what?
Well, the letter was so big it filled it all up, and you have a hard time making it look right, but it's still in there. It's fine.
Oh, right. And you can change the size in that font window. There was a millimeter size that you could have changed too. Okay.
Right.
So now I still have my groups restricted, so I can tab my way through this design and see all of the different, gotta be honest though. I can see all the different elements. There's my letter, there's just my outline and my final stitching, and then there's the interior of the key ring. My restrict groups is still highlighted, so I want to release that restrict groups and let it go back to being groups. So now I've got orange handles around everything and I can see all the different elements that are in there. Okay, so I have released the restrict groups and now I'm going to cut this key ring. So I'm going to click on cut and I'm going to come down here to my P plus and I'm going to go back to my big hoop and I'm going to paste. And it puts it in there so I can start to see my collection of key rings. Okay, so go ahead and cut and paste that one into the big hoop.
Now I'm on mine, and how do I undo the restrictions?
Same thing. Click on the group icon that is dark gray right now, up there in the ribbon bar to the left of hoop.
I keep forgetting I don't have all those. I've got it there, and then ungroup. Okay,
And now you
they're
have orange handles.
No, now I got all green. I ungrouped it. Oh, that wasn't right. Somehow I lost my monogram or my initial. Are you speaking? Because I can't.
Click on the Edit tab at the tippy top.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say for undo?
Move design.
Were you in the window with your monogrammed keyring?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and click on that and see if you can get your monogram back. You may have to edit, undo several
Okay.
times.
Everything's back now. What did I
Excellent.
do wrong? I go to the next to hoop, I go to group.
Yeah,
And the only
tell
thing
me
that I
before
have-
you click on it, Carol, before you
Yeah.
click on anything, when you look at group, the three icons, does one of them have dark gray behind it or not?
Only one of them says restrict groups is up. Group and ungroup are in light gray. And they're not highlighted like.
Okay, so the one that says restrict groups, is it dark gray, like real dark gray around it?
No, not around it. It's just plain old black letters that say restrict group.
Okay, what color handles do you have on your design right now?
There are no handles, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so click
Okay.
on your monogram,
Got it.
click on that key ring.
Okay, now I have ungroup and restrict groups.
Okay, but on the monogrammed key ring, what
Uh-huh.
color boxes are at the corners?
Orange and green.
Is the orange look like it's on top?
Yep.
You are perfect right now. You can now do your edit and your cut and
Oh,
then paste it into the other hoop.
gotcha. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we've cut and paste. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen again, if it's going to let me. Oh, it's being silly. All right, here we are. So I'm back to, I've got my three key rings in here. This one is selected because it's got the orange handles around it. If I click on the flower, that is the selected design. If I click on the arrowhead, that is the selected design. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Okay. So now we are going to go back to our little small hoop again to create another key ring. And this one, I'm going back to my wizards for my assistant. I'm going to project in the hoop, going to key ring, and I'm going to do the motif circle this time. And I'm going to say, okay. Okay, so this particular key ring is a little bit different than some of the others, and I didn't necessarily point it out in a way that I maybe should have. On this key ring, the motif that is in here will actually show on the back of this key ring, whereas like with our initial key ring, all of this interior embroidery gets done before we place the back. So the only thing that shows on the back is the satin stitch. The leaves and the L and all of that, we won't see that. We'll cover that with backing. On this new key ring that we've brought in, the motif circle, if I go to the Home tab and I click on the Design Player, I wish there was some way to make that bigger, but there's not. And I click play, I'm going to fast forward a couple of times. There's my outline stitch. And it says place the material for the front of the key ring. And it's going to tack down and says fold the strip of material and secure it and attach the material for the back. So that all gets put under there right out of the gate, and this will show on both sides. So all of this stitching is going to show on both sides. Back that up just a little bit. Play that a little bit more. Place the material for the front. And then it's going to tack there. Fold the strip of material and secure it and attach the material for the back. So what that means is on the motif, if you still have me, on the motif key ring, I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. Here it is. Yes. So here's one. There's a motif key ring. I didn't like the way it's stitched on the back, so I actually altered that design and didn't allow it to do that. But that's how this one is meant to stitch out, is it would actually show through on the back. Okay, so let me cancel that. All right, so go ahead and go get your motif circle key ring in your small hoop.
Libby, did you actually stitch it out? Were you holding it up? Because we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
just
I'm
saw your
sorry.
screen.
Here is the motif. This one's a diamond that I stitched out. I did not like the way it's stitched out on the back. So I didn't place the back when it told me to. I actually put another stop in there. And on this one, as you can see, this is the motif diamond. I didn't put the back on until the center embroidery was done because I didn't like the way it looked.
So you just held it up. That's the only thing you had to change.
Right, right. I let it do all of the center embroidery and then I paused it, added the back, and then let it do the satin stitch around the edge. And I don't know why that stitched out so cruddy. I don't know if it was because the vinyl was too thick or if it was trying to do trims. Sometimes on letters, you have to turn off the jump stitch cut or it gets all gnarly on the back. I'm not sure why it was yucky, but it was very yucky. Okay, and we are also going to cut this one out of our small hoop and paste it in the big hoop, just like we did with the others. So I can show you that, or if you're feeling frisky and confident, you can do it yourself. PC users, you'll go to the Home tab and you'll do a cut. And then you'll go to your big hoop and you'll do a paste. And Carol, you do the edit cut, edit paste.
I got it done.
You got it done?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you
Yeah.
go. All right. So I'm going to share. So I think most of you probably already did it, but I'm going to do notice that whatever I cut last is sitting down in my clipboard. But when I click on cut, it places the new one that I want down there. I go to my other window and I click paste. And Mac users, you just have to have faith because you don't have a clipboard window to see what you're holding ready to cut and paste. All right, so there is that one. Okay. So now we're going to talk about saving and how we save. I want to save these designs as a working file because I might want to come back and make this key ring for all of my friends, and I may want to change the letter when I save it or when I stitch it out. I'm sorry. So if I save it as a VP4 file, remember that's our working file. That one is for everyone. The other thing the VP4 file does is it saves this in all of its parts. It doesn't flatten it. We can reopen a VP4 and have access to all of the different pieces of the group. So for PC users, and this is not for you, Carol, you've got an extra step. There are places
Okay.
where you didn't have a step. It's similar, but for PC users, we're going to do File, and then we're going to choose Save As. For Mac users, you're going to do File, and then you have to hold down your Option key, and you will see Save As there for you. So I'm going to say Save As, and I'm going to, it brought me into Documents, Premiere +2, My Designs. I want to go one more layer, right? I want to go to my key rings folder. So I'm going to scroll down till I find my key rings folder that I created at the beginning of class. There it is. I'm going to open that. When I do that, I can see I am inside of the key rings folder. Always look at your path so you know where you are. It went ahead, and because I said Save As, my file type is VP4. This is for everybody. Even though it says Viking FOF, ignore that. VP4 is for everyone. And I'm going to type in my 4 key rings sample.
Mm.
And I'm going to say Save. Now, if I go back to File Explorer, and I want to see if it did what I thought it was going to do, I open up Documents, I go to Premiere +2, I go into My Designs, and I come over here to Key Rings, which is right here. There it is, my 4 key rings sample. Now, that is not very helpful to see that P+. So if I go to View up here, I can say, show that to me in an icon, extra large icon, so I can see what that file folder is. So I can change the view to see the file folder of the key rings. Okay, so let me stop sharing. So do a File, Save As. So Carol, click on File.
Okay.
Tab
Oh,
way
wait.
up at the top.
Now I've got save and not save as.
I know. You have
Oh.
to hold your Option key.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that will give you Save As.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Now click on Save As, and now you're in business with everybody else.
And it was, no, is this the one where I'm making
Or-
files? I'm sorry.
Just the one where, what's your question?
Save as. Am I saving it as the sampler or as key rings?
I called it 4 key ring sample.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. And save. Now I want to go
Correct.
to the file and open it. Is that it?
No, you don't need to open. I was just showing you what it looks
Oh,
like
okay.
inside of the folder. No,
All
you're
right.
good. You're good. Everybody else get it saved? Good deal. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up what's on our screens right now. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window. I saved it as the 4 ring sample. So I click on my X to close it. And that brings me into my small hoop because I still had another window of Premiere open. And I just have one now. If I hover over the P+ down at the bottom, I only have the one window of Premiere open. So now I'm going to go back to my Wizards tab. And I'm going to my project in the hoop. And I'm going to the category key ring. And this time I'm going to the sewing machine. So I'm selecting the sewing machine and I say, okay. This thing is hideous in these colors. It really is just
Yeah.
like, really?
Wow.
Okay. So I want you guys to go that far, and then we're gonna really do some stuff to this key ring. So you can close the window with the 4 key rings in it.
Now I've got my little screen and you want me to go and get my work, right? Project in the hoop, key
Yep.
ring, and then I'm doing sewing machine. Okie dokie. God, that is ugly.
Awesome. I was feeling we may bump into another thing here, so let me just. Okay, so now we are going to go to share first so I can show you. Our next task is to get rid of the stuff that we don't want and keep the things that we do. And this is where it's always interesting as to how we go about doing that. So I'm going to go to my Home tab. That is number 36. And I am going to now select the Modify tab. And it brings up a message, and it says, this will fix your selected design as embroidery stitches. Do you wish to continue? I'm going to make that go away for just a second because we do need to say yes. The reason it's asking me that, though, is because this has green handles. And remember, the green handles, if I look over here, I'm currently at 6,425 stitches. If I drag that, it changes the number of stitches, right, to 10,375. So what that means is these stitches are not fixed yet. They're still malleable. We can still change the size and it will compensate for us. I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to go to Modify. And I'm going to say, this will fix your selected design as embroidery stitches. Okay, yes, I do want to continue. So when I do that, I'm now in the Modify tab. My ribbon bar has changed. I have different information up here. I still have all of my colors over here on the side. And what we want to do is we want to extract, if you will, the sewing machine from the design. We want to keep that. We want to get rid of everything else. So I'm going to come over here to my color select in the design panel, and I'm going to uncheck mark number 1 because I believe that's the tack down, or not the tack down, the placement stitch. Sure enough, it took away the placement stitch. Now I'm going to uncheck number 2. This is probably the stitch that held my fabric down. We've done enough of these to know that. There's this pink. The pink is those rays that are behind the sewing machine. I don't want those. I just want the sewing machine. So I'm going to uncheck the pink. Now I'm going to see what is the yellow. The yellow I want, that's sewing machine. What's this blue? When I hover over it, I can see that that's these 2 little guys here. When I hover over the blue, I want that. I'm going to hover over number 6. Number 6 is the outline of the sewing machine. See how when I hover over it, it changes color on my screen. I want 6. 7, nope, that's the circle around it. I don't need that. I'm going to uncheck it. And 8 is the feathered satin around the outside. I'm going to uncheck that. Now I have just my sewing machine on the screen. I unchecked 1, 2, 3, and 7 and 8. So that I'm only seeing the sewing machine. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So now I have on the screen the machine, which is what I want. And so now I'm going to go to my ribbon bar and I'm going to do select all visible. Because right now there's no box around this, so there's nothing selected. I do select all visible, and there's the sewing machine chosen as a design. Okay. And I'm now going to say copy. I have my sewing machine ready to be used somewhere on my clipboard. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my home tab, and I'm going to delete this mess because I want that. So I'm going to say delete, and I have a blank hoop. That's all the further I'm going right now. So we are going to take the sewing machine key ring into modify, remove the colors that we don't want, and then copy the sewing machine into our clipboard. Okay, so you are starting with number 36 in your instructions. If you need help walking through, which I would anticipate you might. So 36 for you is a blank, Carol, because you don't have to go to the home tab. And you're going to use modify, which are the scissors for you over in the design panel. You don't have a modify tab. You've got the scissors.
Oh, so I have to, there we go, then hit scissors. Gotcha.
Yes.
We'll fix your
And I have
stitches.
run out of, what's that?
Now I'm going to continue. It will fix your selected stitches.
Yes, that is correct.
And I'm losing 1, 2, 3, and then at the bottom, 7 and 8. Let's see, 7.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. I'm
Okay.
going to go, I emptied my water glass. So
Oh,
I'll be right back.
sure.
Okay.
I'm
Does
as far
everyone
as,
got-
do
Where
I,
are
do I not have copy?
yours is under edit.
Yeah, okay. And I
What
thought
you
I already,
don't have is a,
wait a minute, let me. It doesn't open. I may have already hit it. How do I know? Oh, no, wait a minute. Yours says click the home tab. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, so you unchecked your colors, right? And
I
got
did all
just the
that.
sewing. And you
Yeah,
did select
and I-
all visible?
Yeah, and then I did copy.
Edit and copy. Okay, you're right where you're where you need to be. Stop.
Oh, okay.
So PC folks should all have the little guy down, your little sewing machine on your clipboard. Okay, and so then you go to your home tab for PC users. I had to think where I am, and then you delete. So you've got your sewing machine in the clipboard. Carol, you need to click on your newspaper print in your design panel.
Got it.
And there's that ugly sewing machine with all the yucky colors.
Yeah.
I want you to delete that. So edit, delete. And you
Done.
should have a blank hoop. Okay,
Yeah.
you're good to go then. All right. So now we are going to do a share screen again. And we're going to go back to the Wizards or Assistant tab. And I'm going to go to my project in the hoop. And I'm going back to key rings. And this time I'm going to do my blank circle and say, okay. All right. This is not quite big enough for this sewing machine. I know that because I've played with it and I'm aware. So I am going to make this bigger to accommodate the sewing machine and the name that I want to put under it. So in the instructions, it tells me to hold down my control key so that the proportion of this stays the same. And I'm going to grab on the bottom right brown or orange handle, whatever you want to call it. When I hover over that handle, notice how my cursor changes to a double-ended arrow. It's just a regular pointer until I get there. Then it becomes a double-ended arrow when I'm over it the way I want to be. I'm holding control, and I'm going to make it 2.5 grid sizes bigger. I'm going to drag this pretty much all the way down to the bottom. So notice when I did that, when I held control, it maintained proportion. If I hadn't done that and I had just grabbed that, I could have, oh, it doesn't, oh, make a liar out of me. I wonder why it's doing that. Maybe because it's grouped. It is holding proportion without holding control. Interesting. There are times when you have to hold control. I'm not sure why it did that. So anyway, we're making it larger, and then I'm going to go back to home and I'm going to paste the sewing machine, and it pastes it into the center, and then I can drag it down a little bit and put it in the center of my hoop or my key ring. Okay. So you're going to go to your Wizards tab or your Assistants tab, go to your project in the hoop, key ring, and blank circle, and say okay. And then make that bigger by about 2.5 grids by dragging on the corner. And then paste your sewing machine into the circle.
Huh.
My sewing machine disappeared.
It disappeared.
Yeah,
Can you undo to get it back? What'd you do?
I undid, now I redid. It's still gone. Do I need to go all the way back and redo it?
You do. I bet what happened, Jan, is you thought you were going to click on it in the clipboard in order to paste it, and that clears the clipboard. That would be my guess as to what happened.
Okay, hang on just a minute. I'll get there quickly, I promise.
I believe you. I trust you. I actually want to show everybody another trick too that I have learned since I wrote this lesson.
After I pasted, my colors are not what I'm expecting.
What'd you end up with?
1, 2, 3, 4, a black, a gray, a lighter gray, and a blue. No yellow and none of that lighter blue.
Is the sewing machine on the screen?
Yeah. Oh, well, wait,
Okay. The sewing machine is in the key ring though, right?
it is.
Okay, I will show you why. Just hold,
Okay.
sit tight. You're fine. You're fine. How you doing, Jan?
I'm good, but just wait 1 second. I'm getting my key ring, but then whatever I did, I don't want to do it again, obviously.
I hear you. Yeah, I would almost be willing to bet that you clicked on the keyboard thinking that's how you were going to get your sewing machine and it cleared it. So you're going to use paste, which is the clipboard in the upper left-hand corner of your ribbon bar, to paste it into the ring when you're ready.
Paste. Click Home tab. Click Paste. Awesome, I'm back.
All right, cool. So 2 things to show you. Carol, I want to answer your question. The black, the gray, the light gray, and the blue is the key ring.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
When I click paste, the sewing machine colors show up. If I click back on the key ring, I see the key ring. This is a 2-part design right now. So it's a group, okay? So
Okay.
it depends on what your box is around, what colors you see. Now, the other thing that I want to show you that, again, like I said, you learn things from when you do things. This was from way back when I originally wrote this. If I drag on the corner, it gets bigger, but it's dragging down, if you will. If I hold down my shift key, I got to get my cursor on the corner first, and I hold my shift key, it makes it bigger in the middle. So the design stays centered when I resize it, okay? Just a little fun fact. Okay, so there's my sewing machine. Now, one of the things that happens to us, for instance, Carol had this highlighted, right? So she could see the black, the gray, the light gray, and the blue. And if I want to get at the sewing machine because I don't like where I put it and I try to click on it, I can't get it because the bigger box is preventing me. So that's when I have to use either the tab key on a PC or on a Mac, I have to use Command arrow to move between designs. Okay, so if I click tab, it takes me to the sewing machine and I can manipulate it. If I click Command arrow on the Mac, Command right arrow, that takes me to the next design. So I can tab my way through the designs that are on the screen or Command arrow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we've got the sewing machine where we want it, perhaps, or you can mess with it when I give you back your screen. So now we're going to add lettering to the sewing machine. So I am going to go up to the letter tab, and the letter for the Mac is in the design panel. It's the A, okay? I'm going to click the drop-down arrow next to the font, and I am going to use the retro category. So I'm going to scroll down. The categories are in alphabetical order, so I'm looking for retro. There's retro showing up right here, and I want the Art Deco 15 to 50. Art Deco. Notice there are 2 Art Decos. There's the Art Deco 15 to 50 millimeter, and there's the Art Deco 50 to 100. You always want to choose lettering that is close to the size that you want to use. If you get too far outside of the sizes that are recommended, it can get wonky because it's pretty detailed. So we're going to use the Art Deco 15 to 50. And when I select that, that shows up in my box over here as my selected font. Then I'm going to click into the letters box, and I am going to type in my name. Notice over here, Jerry asked earlier, is there a preview of the letters that are available? Well, usually it's ABC, ABC, because there's an ABC uppercase and an ABC lowercase. This particular font, Art Deco UC, it is only an uppercase font. There are no lowercase letters. So I can get uppercase letters and numbers out of this font. So I'm going to type in Libby. I don't have to type it in uppercase because it's going to automatically be in uppercase because that's the way the font is. And I'm going to leave the size as it is, the 15 millimeter. It always comes in at the minimum recommended. So 15 millimeters, that's fine. I'm going to leave it in that horizontal block shape, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say apply. There is my name. I can put that right up underneath the sewing machine. And now I have a key fob that has my name on it. Your turn. And do you have to use the font that I recommended? No. Is 15 millimeters about the right size? Yes. Can we change the color? Absolutely.
Okay. I'm supposed to hit shift and the key, right? To go to the, I'm trying to move my sewing machine up.
Okay, so hold down your command
got it.
key and right arrow, and then you can grab it and move it.
Okay. There we go. Now I want to go to, I got my directions. Let me look.
Libby, when we
So
make
you are
it,
on
when we proportionalize it, you said hold down a command key or control key or which, I'm sorry.
Shift will allow you to make it bigger from in the center of the screen.
Okay.
So Carol, you were on number 41 to add your name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The letters box. Okay, I went to letter. I selected a font.
Yep.
Now when I
Now,
go to
put your
type, now put what?
Put your cursor in the white box that says letter.
Oh, gotcha.
That's where you'll type your name.
Okay. Well, I got it in the white box. Nothing.
And then once you've typed it, you have to hit apply.
Oh, it's
down there at the bottom.
tiny. I see what's wrong.
Libby, I'm sure it says in the PDF somewhere. Are they using a cutaway or a tearaway for these?
I don't know what they recommended. Actually, I think I used tearaway. I hate cutting away if I don't have to.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't it leave little fuzzies? That's what I'm concerned about.
Most of the outlines of, I'm not sharing screen right now, so you can see. Most of the, like the final edge stitch
Yeah.
is in a little bit. So I feel like it tore away from the stitching when I tore, if I was careful. So I didn't have to worry about little fuzzies.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Libby,
to cut all that away.
Libby,
All right.
I don't have a letters box big enough to see what it's doing. It's real small.
Do you have your Premiere window big? Do you have it stretched across your screen big?
Premiere window. Yeah.
The whole thing, is your Premiere filling your screen with your hoop in
No.
it? Or is it
Uh-uh.
small? Drag it bigger. Then your
Oh,
letters
okay.
box should be big enough to see what you're doing.
Oh, heck. Oh, there we go.
Sometimes people will get those little teeny tiny Macs or little teeny tiny laptops, and oh my gosh, they can't see everything that should be on the screen. You almost need an external monitor if you're going to have an itsy bitsy guy.
Oh, no.
All right. Did you get it?
Yeah. I keep going to different screens. It's driving me nuts.
Next time, before you start, I want you to close every screen on your computer except
God's
Premiere.
sake.
Can you mix and match some of these, Libby? Like,
Say what now?
can you mix and match, like we're doing the key ring and we just did the sewing machine, but could we do the key ring and then go down and do like the children's, like a dog or a cat, whatever they've got in the children's section in the Wizards, or no?
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I knew what question you were going to ask. Let me see if I'm following. Wizards
So we go
project in the.
and then we want to do,
Wait a minute. Let me go back to key ring. So I do key ring, right?
yeah, but then in the same thing, they've got, I'm not going to say this very clear. See, they have phone case, passport cover, novelty, that kind of stuff. Could we
Yeah.
click on novelty and put it down in the clipboard and like maybe do the cartoon heart or the owl, whatever, but put it on this blank circle that we just put the sewing machine on? Is that
If
a
you can get-
grade here?
No, I know exactly what you're asking, and I love the question. So the question is, can I get this design, maybe the goofy heart, and put it on the key ring, is what you're asking me.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So just for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead, and I'm not going to jump too far out of here. Whoop. Oh, that's
Maybe
fun.
not.
Okay, so it's big, but that's okay. Here, wait a minute. There. Can I make that little? I sure can. Can I copy those stitches to my clipboard and then eventually bring them in here? Yep. But right now, remember all the steps for creating probably the front and the back of this, because it's grouped, are in this. So you're going to have to extract just the top. Just
Okay.
like we extracted the sewing machine from the sewing machine key ring. Can
Right.
you extract just what you wanted this and then put it on here? Absolutely.
Okay,
Cool question. I love it.
thank
The
you.
thing that I love to see that sort of creativity happen. I was hoping somebody would say, so can I take this sewing machine and use it somewhere else? You bet. You bet. You can save that as its own design and use it on a towel, a gift card. You want to give somebody a Quilt Beginnings gift card. You can make a gift card holder, put the sewing machine on it. Yes, you can take bits and pieces of different designs and put them different places. You just have to know how to go to modify, get rid of what you don't want, keep what you do want, and then save it. Make sense?
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now this is another interesting piece of what you just asked. So let me show you all what happens when we go to stitch this out. All right, I'm going to click on Design Player, and I am going to click Play. And let's watch what I'll speed it up just twice, but let's watch what happens. There is my outline stitch for where I'm going
I'm not
to put
on
my
you,
fabric.
Libby.
Oh. Do what now?
I'm trying to find you on my screen.
You want to be watching, you want to see my screen right now.
Right, I
me.
know. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it.
Click on your little zoom icon down there in the bottom and see if you can get me back.
Okay, there.
Get the-
There you are.
Woohoo! All right. Okay, so it did the outline stitch so that I can place my fabric. And now it's doing the tack down of the outline or of the fabric that is there. I'm afraid to go too fast. I don't want you to not see what's going to happen here. Oh, one more time. Faster. There it goes. All right. Look what it says. Fold the strip of material and secure it, then attach the material for the back. No, no. I've got embroidery I want to do before the back goes on, right? So we are going to have to reorder the stitches in order to make this thing behave. So if I push play, I put my back under according to what it just told me to do. And now, come on. Goodness, my computer is slow today. And now it's embroidering the outside edge. No good. Because the back's on there. The outside edge isn't the problem. But then it's going to do the sewing machine and the name, which is all going to show through on the back. We'll see all that nasty stitching on the back. So we do not want that. I'm going to cancel that. And the other way that I know that it's doing something like that is if I click on the design and I start to tab my way through it, I can tell it's not gonna, the tack down stitch, the placement stitch and the securing stitch are in this first group. The orange handles, that's what's in that group. So we're going to need to reorder the stitching so that it does the placement stitch, we put the fabric down, it does the tack down stitch, then we wanted to do the sewing machine and the name, then we wanted to do that final stitch with the backing underneath. So what we are going to need to do is have Libby find her place. All right, I am working on number 45 right now. So I am going to select this entire key ring. I'm going to do a select all so that the group, right now the group is only around the blank key ring. See how if I grab it and move it, Libby and the sewing machine are not in that group. So I need to put that back. And I'm going to do a select all. And now, see the dashed lines in between my orange handles? That's saying this whole thing is a group and it's all together, the temporary group. Okay, let me put it back. Select all. All right, so now, excuse me, we are going to go over here and look at our color select box. Color number 1, can't really see it very well, is the placement stitch. And then color number 2, you see it, I'm pointing to my screen like you can see me point. Color number 2, when I hover over it, see how the tab turns yellow, the stitching?
Mhm.
So that is my second set of stitches. And then Color number 3 is for the placement of the back and for the, for the placement of the back and then the satin stitch. And then as I come on down through here, number 5 is the sewing machine. See how it just changed colors when I went over it? Number 6 is the trim on the sewing machine. See how the spool and the little screen turned gold? Color number 7 is the outline. When I hover over it, it turns gold, the outline of the sewing machine. And then color number 8 is my name. Okay. So we need to move color number 3 and color number 4 to the end, because that is our add the back and our tack down stitch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. What am I doing? Oh, that's the map. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? All right. So I'm going to save this first as a VP4, just so I have all the pieces and parts, because you may want to make one of these for all of your friends that sew, right? You may want to make one with their name on it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do a file and a save as, and I'm going to get back into my key rings folder right here, opening that, and I am going to name this sewing machine. Whoops, I got to get in the box to do it. Sewing machine Libby. Okay, and I'm going to say save. So now I have saved this. I can tell I've saved it because up here at the top it no longer says untitled. It says sewing machine Libby. All right, it's named. And then we will rearrange the stitch out order. So let's have everybody do it save as before we jump into this. Call it sewing machine with your name.
What do I have to hit to make save as pop up?
Option.
Option. Oh yeah, option.
Hold the option key. And you're going to want to make a note of that because I'm not sure that that's in your instructions.
I thought I wrote it, but I couldn't find it. So that's why I'm hit option somewhere.
Save as is the options. And like number 47, Carol, where it says
Yeah.
click file, then right next to that, hold option.
Okay.
And then you're going to do a save as. I need to correct this on your.
And this is going to be sewing machine Carol, not Libby.
Correct. That would be good.
Very good. Now I can get rid of it because it's saved.
No, don't get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
We're going to work with it. Don't get rid of it. We saved it as a VP4 so that when we make our next changes, we still have a copy of it in pieces. So yes,
Gotcha.
please don't get rid of it. That's not the goal.
Libby,
Okay.
I have a quick question on the save as.
Yes, Jerry.
Okay, I have like documents, Premiere +2, then I have my designs, and then the key rings is like in the name, but the file name, if I hit save, then will it go under key rings or?
You have to open key rings. You have to open that folder by double clicking it.
Do I do that before I put in sewing machine Jerry or?
I would always make it a habit of having the file open before I name it. It doesn't matter. You can type in the name and then open it and then click save. But I always try to make sure, I have tried to train myself to always open the folder that I want it to land in before I name it, because once I type in the name, I hit save and then it's out and never lands somewhere.
And it says where I know my stuff's in Never Never Land because I've got like my designs and I have key rings, but I don't have the key rings is not in my item search.
You had to go find them.
I'll just figure it out later. I keep losing stuff. That's why I can't understand what I'm doing, but.
Yeah, it's learning to read that path and understanding where you are. Jerry, we could probably take 15 minutes sometime and do a share screen, and I can help you clean up and maybe understand how to do that. We should do that.
Okay.
For sure. Okay.
All righty.
All right. So now that we have saved this as a BP4, which we can find and get in the right folder for Jerry here a little bit later, I am going to do a select all. So right over here in my ribbon bar is select all. Then I'm going to combine. So I'm going to merge all of these embroidery stitches into one flat file. When I do that, my handles will no longer be orange. I will no longer have dashed lines. It will be a fixed set of stitches. So I'm going to do combine, combine all. I now have white handles. It is all one design. All the colors are showing in the screen. Okay. And if I change its size, it's at 65, 67. If I change its size, it's still at 65, 67. It didn't compensate for me. Okay. So now I have, it's all in one file. Combine, combine all. Okay. So I want you guys to do that. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to reorder the colors so that things stitch out properly.
Libby, on my design, it doesn't have dotted, mine's already solid. Is it supposed to have the dotted lines like yours does?
When you do select all, I think you'll have dotted lines.
Yes, I have dotted lines. Okay.
Okay, the reason you didn't was because you only had the key ring selected. And when you did select all, it picked up the name and the sewing machine as well.
What number are we on so I can follow? I select all then.
We are on.
Sorry, I'm not following the map very well.
That's okay.
Mine,
47.
47. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did 49A and B. 49A and B. My
Okay.
bad. 49A. 48 A and B. Good golly, Libby. 48 A and B. 48 A, B. Combine, combine all. Okay.
And then we stop
We
there.
good?
correct? Yes, I'm good.
Stop there. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do this next bit. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, so now we've combined it all into one design. And again, I have my placement and my tack down, and then I have my finale stitches right up here at number 3 and number 4. And I don't want those. I want number 3 and number 4 to be the last stitches. So we are going to go to the Modify tab, which will be the scissors for Carol when we get back to you having your own screen.
Okay.
Okay. And now we have a couple of different ways that we can do that. Essentially, we need 3 and 4 to be last. So I can click on number 5 because I know I need to move it up. It needs to come right under the first 2 stitches. So I can click right down here and say move color up. And I've got to move it up 2 places. 1, 2. So I want that gray and that blue to be last. Then I'm going to come to my trim on my sewing machine. I'm going to click it one time. If you double click, it'll open the color. You don't want to do that. And I'm going to move it up 2 places. Then I'm going to grab my outline stitch for my sewing machine, and I'm going to move it up 2 places. And then I'm going to grab my red, and I'm going to move it up 2 places. So now my tack down for my back and my satin stitch is last. And I'm sitting here watching myself do this, saying, why on earth did I not just pick this blue and do move down till it was at the bottom, and then pick the light gray and move it down till it was at the bottom? I don't know if I just wanted y'all to practice on moving colors or why I did it the hard way. But I think you could do it either way. Okay, so yeah, hang on, Carol. I'm trying to.
It's fine.
Did you figure it out?
No, I'm not even on my screen yet. I'm totally lost.
Well, that's not good. That's not fine. Yours is slightly different for moving your colors around.
Well, first of all, I don't even have my colors up. I'm
Click on the
clear back in letters.
Click on the newspaper print to get all your colors.
Okay.
Do you have colors now?
Yes. Well, no, I've got the outside colors. I guess I didn't hit combine all yet because I didn't know where to go on mine.
Okay. So what I want you to do is to use your select tool in the ribbon bar. It's about in the middle, and you're going to pick the 4 little blue boxes and click select all.
4 little blue boxes.
So select has a box, it has a lasso, it has points, it has some sort of stitch, then it's got 4 dark blue boxes.
I'm sorry, I was in
all
mode.
visible.
Okay, I've got the select all.
Select all visible. Okay, so now go to design tab at the tippy top and combine all.
And then, okay.
Got your combine all?
Yep.
Now go to the scissors.
Scissors, yeah.
Okay. And I think the instructions tell you to move 4 of the colors up. There's an easier way to do it. We can move 3 to the bottom, and then we can move 4 to the bottom. For you to move things, you have to click on the check mark next to the color. And then use the up and down arrows that are underneath the color select box to move that color whatever direction you want to go.
Well, this is, hold on. This is weird. Okay, there's that. And then I go down to the bottom.
So take 3 all the way to the bottom, and then take 4 all the way to the bottom if you're moving down.
Wait a minute, I gotta go the other way. Oh, darn it. So 3 is the pink, and I moved it to the bottom. Or was it the blue? I think I screwed it up.
It would be the blue.
Okay, let me, somehow I put the blue on top.
Well, and the steps are all written down for you, so if you don't get it perfectly right now, it's okay. You can go back through those steps.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the original, and I'll start from scratch. And how do I do that?
Okay. You mean how far original are we talking? You want the VP4 that we saved?
Well, I just, no, on the colors, I want to get the colors lined up the way they were.
Oh, do edit, undo, edit, undo.
Ah, there we go.
edit,
That's, and then I'll worry about that rest later.
Okay.
Okay, now I've
Sounds
got
good.
it.
Libby, I
Okay,
can't
so
get
I'm
my color to move. Like I click on number 3, then I click on the down, nothing's happening.
Okay, I suspect I know why. Let me share my screen for just a second.
Okay, let me go
I'm
back
going to
you.
guess that you are here and you're clicking and nothing's happening because they're grayed out.
Yes,
That look familiar? Okay.
yes,
You have to go to the modify tab first, which
okay,
is up here. See where I am?
yes.
And then when you click on a color, these are lit up, they're blue, they're no longer gray, and I can move the color.
Okay. That's not in our
Okay.
directions, correct?
That isn't, I hope it is. Yes, it is.
On 45,
Yeah,
is that where we're at?
It's 48C, modify
Oh, I'm
tab.
Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. That's why I can't figure it out.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So what I want everyone to do then is to go to your home tab while Jerry's getting that straightened out, and go ahead and click your design player and notice that your it's going to stitch out in the right order now. It's going to do the placement stitch, the tack down stitch, then the interior embroidery, which would be the sewing machine and the name, and then it will do the placement of the back and then the satin stitch around the outside edge.
Libby, I'm gonna step away a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
Carol and I have been at it since 8:30. We started with a Mac preview, so she know where some of these tabs were.
Go ahead without me, Libby. I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so did everybody see how it's stitched out in the correct order then after you move those colors around? All right. Jerry, how you doing? You getting your colors moved?
Yeah, I'm good now.
You're good. I love it. All right. So now, this is the part Carol wants to know how to do. We'll review it. So now we've got everything in the right order, and I'm going to go back to the home tab, and you guys did your design player. So now we want to export this design into a stitchable file. Okay. So we've done a file and a save as. We can do file export, or we can use the export floppy disk up at the tippy top. Same thing, just two different ways to get there. So we click on export, and this brings up a new window. This is the export window. So the file format is not a VP4. We never, ever, ever export to a VP4, because when we export, it does flatten the file. It makes it all one. And we saved that as a VP4 so that we knew we could get back into it and get at the pieces and the parts. So we click on the drop down arrow next to VP4. And here are all of the different options for exporting this design. We have Viking FOF VP3, so that's for all the Viking and or FOF owners. Next, we have Brother Baby Lock Bernina, which is PES, which most of you will use if you have a Bernina. We also have a PEC for Brother Baby Lock and Bernina. We tend to pick the PES file. There's Singer, there's the good old Viking one from days gone by, Janome, all Melco, Expanded, Fox. These are some of the older ones down here. So if you're a Viking or a Fox owner, you'll pick VP3. And if you are a Bernina or a Baby Lock owner, you'll pick PES. Now, I usually kind of cheat and do the VP3 because it's easy, but a lot of you own Berninas and Baby Locks, so we'll do a PES so you can see what happens. For whatever reason, it brings up the tiniest spring hoop if you're saving it or exporting it to the PES file. So you have to change hoop and put it in a hoop that's big enough to stitch it out in. So I'm going to come into my hoop type and I'm going to pick Baby Lock. And for hoop group, I go ahead and just pick the Solaris. You could pick the Spirit Carol, which I believe is what you told me, the Baby Lock
Right.
Spirit. And then you can choose a hoop that you own that it will fit in. So this guy, I probably can go here, medium hoop, and say, okay, yep, it'll fit in there. But I would pick the smallest one that it fit in. And there's a red line around it when it doesn't fit. So if I were to pick the 100 by 100, I don't think it would fit. Nope, I would have a red line in there. So it does not fit 100 by 100 hoop. So I have to go to a bigger hoop, 180 by 130. And I say, okay, and it does fit in there. So export file format, you have to choose your machine. This is your translator to get it into a machine readable language. And then we say, okay. This brings us to where do you want to put it? Okay. And so if I can export it into my key rings folder if I want to, so that I have an exported copy of it on my hard drive of my computer. So Jerry, this is where you get yourself into trouble. You see key rings and you probably even click on it. It's highlighted, but if I look at the top, it's not open. I have to double click it to open the folder. Now notice down here, Sewing Machine Libby is there and it's added the word exported, meaning this is an exported file. So we saved it as Sewing Machine Libby in all its pieces and parts earlier, and it's saying, okay, this is the exported one. So I say export. And now if I go look inside of my folders by going to File Explorer, and I go to Documents, and I go to Premiere Plus 2, and I go to My Designs, and I go to Key Rings, I can see all of my different things that I have put in this folder. I have my 4 key ring sample, which is a VP4 that's still in pieces and parts. I can change things around. I have my Sewing Machine Libby as a VP4, and I have my Sewing Machine Libby exported as a PES.
Now,
However, that still didn't get it to my sewing machine. It only got it to my computer, right?
oh,
So I can export that or copy it onto a USB stick. I'm trying to find my USB drive. Switch things so much. So if I do export up here or file export, and I say, okay, so I showed everybody how to do it as a PES. I'm going to do a VP3 now. And I'm going to say, okay. When this second screen comes up, it would go into the key rings folder. That's not where I want it. I want it on the USB drive. So over here on the left-hand side, I would choose USB. And I would open that. I look up here to make sure I'm there, this PC USB drive, and I say export. Now it's on my stick, and I can take it to my sewing machine. Okay.
Libby, I have a question. How do you get it to SewNet? Like, does it SewNet come up on that, where to export to?
Yes, ma'am. Let me show you the screen real quick. Well, it didn't. Uh, All right. I said that too quick. All right. You're going to an icon, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when I do export, and say okay. SoNet is not showing up. I'm not logged in right now.
Okay, so if I logged in, it would show it up. It would show up then.
Yeah, or look right here, Jerry. See that little cloud down there?
Yes.
If I click that, I can send to my SoNet.
Okay. I knew that there was somehow we could do that. So perfect.
What is
And
SoNet?
actually, if my sewing machine were on right now, it would say send to my my icon, and I could
Okay.
go boom, would send it right to the screen if it were on and in embroidery mode and ready.
Now I have a
I wouldn't even-
question.
Yeah,
My machine, it doesn't have any of that junk. I have to actually use the stick, right?
right. That's correct.
Okay. All right.
That's correct. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jerry, you wanna learn how to send it directly to the machine. It's easier.
Yeah, that makes sense what you just showed me. So now I know where the cloud
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, as long as they're both logged in to the same Wi-Fi network, it'll send it directly to the machine, which is
I
handy.
knew there was
So
a way
everybody,
to do it. I just didn't know how to do it.
right. Well, and it's something that doesn't get taught in-house because we usually don't have the computer and the machine there at the same time.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead and export that file.
I've lost all screens.
Does that mean your computer died and you need to
No,
plug it in?
I'm on. I can't find. Oh, here I am. I think I'm on your. I lost the beginning of this conversation, obviously, so I'll catch that up later.
Okay, well, I think everybody that is on knows how to export, Carol. So let's just talk about an export real quick for you. Do you have a USB stick there?
I do.
Okay, so I want you to, you have two ways that you can export. You can either use your, wait a minute. You can either use the actions key, which is right next to the assistance, or you can
I
do
see it.
file export. Okay, so go ahead and click on actions.
Actions. Okay.
Do you see export down there in the bottom of that window?
Mm-mm.
Yes?
No, I do not. Under actions, right?
Yeah, click the drop down. It should say insert, undo, cut, copy, duplicate, zoom, background, save, export, print, and send
Export is
express.
grayed out.
Okay, that means you're still in the modify tab on your
Oh.
design panel. So hit the newspaper print
Gotcha.
and then do actions again.
Okay. There's export.
So click export.
Now
and
this
you are
says the
going-
embroidery is too large or not in the hoop.
Yep, it sure does. Well, wait a minute. It said that before you even got to pick which file format?
I hit export and that popped up under export.
How big is your key ring? Which hoop are you in?
I have no idea. This thing is huge. Well, the key ring has been expanded all over. I don't know how that happened. Oh, I'll tell you how. Now let's see. No, somehow that other, it's laying over top of the other hoop. You know, the big hoop?
Yeah.
It's in there. How did that happen?
You tell me. I'm not sure.
God. I don't know what to do.
Do you have anything in your small hoop right now? If you do a 4-finger swipe, do you have a small hoop with something in it?
Yeah,
With a
that's
key
the one I'm
ring?
looking at with Carol on, with the sewing machine and Carol on it. But when I
Click
go to
on-
hit it, the dimensions are not in the I mean, you know, the dots and stuff, they're in another hoop that's I'm about ready to go.
Hang on. Click on the key ring that has Carol on it.
Well, when I try, this big screen thing comes in. Oh, wait a minute. No. Okay, hold on. Somehow or other, this got onto a key ring with the the very first key ring we did. It's on this
Okay.
screen now. I don't know how it got there. And oh, you know what? I'm looking at yours. My SewNet is at the top of this. I don't know how my thing got on your screen.
I'm
I
not
don't-
sharing screen right now. It's not me.
I don't even have my SewNet. Why does it think I do?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, this is really confusing. Let's just skip this. You guys go on and I'll pick it up later.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now what we're going to do, well, we'll do another export. So I'm trying to think how to make sure you can do it. Do File New.
Okay.
And then I want you to do File Insert.
Now, when I did File New, I got that great big hoop blank.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay, got insert.
Now, I want you to insert your sewing machine Carol VP4. So you should be able to find that somewhere in your files, right?
I see it up at the top of the thing. My
Good,
bar at the
double
top
click it.
says that, but I don't see it anywhere. Oh, here's Finder. Let's see what that is. No, that's not it.
Everybody else do a File New Window. Okay. And after you've done your File New Window, change your hoop to be a 150 by 150 hoop. If you need help, let me know.
I'm just gonna move on. I don't have that, but I'm going along with you. 150 by 150 hoop. Okay.
Okay. You didn't find your sewing machine Carol V4?
That's what I'm looking for now. I should just open it, right? Open and
Yeah.
see if I've got it.
Okay. So once you have your new window and your hoop that's 150 by 150, click on File and do an Insert. And I want you to insert the sewing machine with your name on it that is the VP4 file. So you have to go to Documents, Premiere Plus 2, My Designs, and Key Rings, and grab that file that's the working file, sewing machine, your name, VP4, not the exported one. And once you insert that, you should have orange handles around it. So I'll do a share screen and show you. I think most of you are probably there. So I've got my new folder, or my new hoop, untitled. I opened up a new version of Premiere by doing the File New Window before. So now I'm going to do a File Insert. And when I do that, I have to find, when I first did it, I was on my USB drive because that's where I'd been last. So I have to go Documents, Premiere Plus 2, My Designs, and then go to my key rings folder or wherever you stored that, key rings. And then I want the VP4 version of it, not the exported one, because the VP4, whoops, is the grouped one that has the orange handles, right? Okay, and remember, this is the one where this stitch out order is wrong, where we've got our tack down, our placement, our tack down, and then our place the back and our satin stitch. Okay, so what we want to do right now is we want to make one of these for one of your friends who doesn't have software yet. Doesn't mean they won't have software someday. So we want to get at Libby. If I start tabbing right now, I can't get there because this group is being held. I have to do a restrict groups. Now I have the ability to tab to the different parts of the workspace. So I want to tab my way till I get to the name. And then I can right click on my name and I can go to properties. When I do that, it brings back what I chose. I can simply replace this with my friend's name and say, okay, and I can make another key ring for her, for my friend Julia. So now I then have to repeat the steps for the, let me take the restrict groups off. I would need to repeat the steps to move these two colors down because they are meant to be the last two. So actually, if I thought I was going to do this a lot, I would probably move those two down, then save. Actually, I would do that. Let's just go ahead. Let me show you how I would do that. I would go modify. It says it's going to make it as a fixed, whoops, sorry, a group is selected. I have to do my combine all first. I'm sorry. So select all, combine all. Then I can go move those two down again, like we did before, or move the other colors up. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Oops. Here we go. And do your insert. Bring in your VP4 file. And restrict your groups so you can change the name.
You still there, Libby?
I am.
Okay.
Question?
No, I missed the beginning of this and I just can't catch up. So when we get to a new section, I'll start.
Carol, one of the things I would like for you to do is get a design on the screen in a 150 by 150 hoop. So if you need to, if you can't reopen your VP4 right now, because you can't figure that out, go ahead and make a new window of Premiere, do a 150 by 150 hoop, go to your project or to your assistants and create a key ring and put it in there.
Okay.
Just so you have a design on the screen that you can export. I want you to be able to export before we leave today.
Okay, I'll just go to the project in the Hoop Assistant. I'm trying to find the screen that's got all my stuff on it, you know, the key rings, and I could just pick one up.
It doesn't take long to create one. Just pick one of them and
All right,
throw it on the screen.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's one on the screen.
Okay, so now let's talk about how we export again. And you're in a baby lock. So we had for quite some time a software club rolling along, and this was always hardest part. It's confusing a little bit. So I'm sharing my screen. I can't find my cursor. Here we are. Okay. So when I get ready to export my design, I would go to, I can use the icon up here if I want, if I'm a PC user. This will be the same for you if I do it this way. If I do File, and I
don't see a shared screen here. I
Click
hear
on
you.
your
and I
Zoom.
see you.
Click on your Zoom icon down there in the bottom.
I have. Okay, I have.
You still don't see my screen?
I see your face, but I don't see the screen you were doing. Hold on, darn it.
Do you need to make my face smaller?
I don't want, no, let me try this again. I'm
That
gonna,
wouldn't be a
okay,
bad
there
thing.
it is. There it is.
Good. Okay. So to export, we go File, and we go Export. It brings up the export window, and we have to select the file format that we want to export to. Okay. And if I own a baby lock, I want to use this Brother Baby Lock Bernina, which is the PES. And I'm going to click that. And it didn't do it this time. Normally, I think because I've already done it once, it comes up in the smallest hoop there is. So you have to do a change hoop.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw part of that when I got back.
Okay, so when you do change hoop, you're going to go to Baby Lock. You will go to the Spirit, Baby Lock Unity Spirit, and then you'll choose one of the hoops that is available to you. The 100 by 100 is too small. See the little red lines?
Right.
If there's a red line inside of that hoop, that's too little. So you got to pick something bigger. So I'll go, oh, there is a 150 by 150. Obviously, you're going to pick something that you own.
Right.
And you'll say, okay. And then you say, once you've got this all set up with the correct file format, the correct hoop size, you say, okay. And then over on the left-hand side on the Mac as well, if you have a USB stick in there, you can select it. And remember, your path is at the bottom, and it'll tell you you're on your USB drive, and then you put your name in there and export it to the USB drive, and then stick that in your machine and stitch it out.
Okie doke.
Okay, so go ahead and export your friend's key ring or whatever key ring you have up.
Now, I don't have anything up. That's the problem.
four finger swipe to find the one that you just opened.
Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to actions. No,
Uh-huh.
export.
Yep.
Okay, now it's the VP4. You don't want that this time, right?
No, never export to a VP4.
So I wanted my baby lock Bernina PES. Got it.
Yep.
And well, this looks like it's already on a thing that'll fit. I don't know what size it is, but that's fine for me.
Okay.
So then I continue.
Yes.
Oh, I got to title it, right?
Yeah, I would.
I'll just put key ring.
And then select where you want it to go. So if you have a USB stick in the Mac, you should be able to see that over there on the left-hand side about halfway down on your screen.
I see Macintosh Oh, wait a minute, Lexar. That's it. Oh no, wait a minute. That's what I
There
want.
it is.
Here it is. That's the stick. So it'll take it straight to the stick now.
Yep, sure will.
Okay, I'm so sorry to hold everyone up.
You're fine. You're fine. Questions, anyone? You are a quiet bunch today. I feel like the only one talking at all. All right. So look at the last page of your handout, showing the key rings. I've put some notes on here for you. There is a stop command in the colors when something's supposed to happen. If it stops, stop. Figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Your front fabric needs to be larger than the tab that sticks up at the top by about a half an inch. Don't be frugal or your loop won't be big enough. That's where I showed you, you know how the initial stitch out is a little bit lower than where it tacks it down. And I was cheap and wasted some because of that. The perfection tape is a great way to hold that in place. And this is the embroidery perfection tape. The nice thing about this is it doesn't leave residue on the fabric. Blue painter's tape works as well. But Scotch tape sometimes leaves sticky behind. So I try not to use that if I can help it. Don't forget, ask me how I know this, to turn down the loop before you place the back. If you're using a clip for your key ring, you can actually go ahead and put the loop through it before you flip it down. It's easier than threading it on there. Just make sure you tape it down so you don't break your needle. So the little, whoops, that one's in the machine. I actually put my ring in there and then folded my tab down and just taped that down out of the way because it was just easier than having to run it through there. I suggest that you place another layer of tearaway underneath the entire project once you place your back. Just float it under there because it just stabilizes the back when it does the decorative stitching. So again, tearaway, so you can get rid of it. And this blue fabric that I used for the little flower was, I don't know if I finally threw them away. I had a collection of these that just did not stitch out well at all. But this is the one that's stretchy. It's a very stretchy vinyl. So I actually switched to a stretch needle, and then my machine and the key ring were much happier. So there's lots of different ways to get good results. You just have to figure them out. So have fun. I expect to see a whole collection of key rings the next time I see you all. Anybody have a question or anything?
When class is over, I mean, can I ask you just a couple questions?
Yes.
I cannot find my, I don't know that where I saved my, my collection of key rings.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go hunting for those. Actually, I'd like to maybe help you get the home in your house in your favorites, because that'll help you a lot.
Okay.
Melanie, how are you doing? Did you follow?
I did, surprisingly.
Well, no.
Well, but I haven't even downloaded it yet, but I was able to follow. So I may email you if I have a question, if that's all right.
Please do. Please do. I try to get back just as quickly as I can. And yes, I'd be more than happy to help. So very, very definitely. Jerry, you
Thank
doing
you.
good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Very, very good. Well, ladies, that's it. The next, I think the next project class is the Encore Tau. Is that correct? Does anybody know? I think it is.
I think so. Oh, I got it.
Hopefully I'll see y'all there. All right.
Thanks, Libby.
So enjoy this weather. I'm going skiing in just about an hour. I can't wait.
Wow.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, Lib. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
You too. All right. So Carol.
Libby, I felt just awful, but I don't think the ladies understood how difficult it was to listen to all the directions on theirs and then try to go to mine and not get confused.
Oh, no. And we used to do this in-house all the time, so that's okay. What I would like to do is make you the host so that I can see your computer, and I'm going to have you share your screen, and then I can probably walk you through where some of your things are.
Okay.
So I am going to make you the host. So somewhere where our faces are down at the bottom, you should be able to do a share screen. It's a little green button.
I just realized I'm getting ready to run out of, I didn't have my computer plugged in.
Okay.
Hold on. I got a plug right here to do it. Here it is. I mean, it was fully charged, but after all this, it's crying.
Oh, right. Right.
Just a second, Libby.
No worries.
I got plenty of cord, but I wrapped it too tight, so get it over to the wall.
Yeah, don't get up and tie yourself up.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
I got a bad knee. Okay, now let's get over here.
We used to, I had a little contingency of Mac folks that were in class, and I always made them sit together because they could always help each other get out of the weeds.
Come on, get this in here. Oh goodness, Libby. I need to get this plugged in. And it's got a 3-prong plug, and one of these darn plugs in my house isn't 3-pronged.
Oh, no.
I got some over here. Okay, there's that. Wait. Just about there, darling.
No worries. Yeah, I've learned with teaching these, I get everything plugged in before I ever start.
You know, I thought to do that, and I thought, well, And you know, you can't run a computer with pictures and all that for 3 or 4 hours and not run it down. Okay, I've got it charging, so I'm good now. So,
Okay, excellent. So somewhere on that Zoom screen near our faces is a little green button that says share for share screen. Should be kind of in the center.
I can't get to the Zoom part at the bottom. I think my screen is too big. You know, hold on. Oh, here's Zoom us. Okay. Now wait, that doesn't look right. I've got a Zoom US, but oh, there's share screen. Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, I hit that. Now what?
Now you have to pick, I want you to pick the screen that says desktop. There should be one of them that says desktop.
Gotcha. Okay.
Click share, which is in the bottom right corner.
Okay. Allow Zoom to share your screen. Does this open systems preferences?
Oh, shucks. Yeah,
Oh, wait.
you have to go into preferences and allow it and all sorts of nonsense. Shoot.
Well, without even share, oh boy.
And I've made you the host at this point, so I can't get
Oh
it back.
God.
Uh,
Well,
All right.
does it hurt for me to see? It's got a stop, a thing that stop on desktop. And when I hit it, it says allow Zoom to share your screen and security and privacy to grant access.
Yeah, you've got to go to system, you've got to go to settings, which is your gears down there in the middle of your keyboard
Mm-hmm.
or your dock, I mean, and
Well,
then
it
you'll
says
go.
open. There's a click just to hit share, share system preferences.
Try it.
Zoom us would like to record this computer screen. I don't know about that. Oh, Libby.
Would like to record it or use it? What did it say?
It wants to record it. I'm not doing that.
Oh, that's because Katie's recording right now. I'll
Oh,
tell you what. Let's end and let me get on my Mac. And I wonder if I can get back in. I think I can still get back into this meeting.
okay.
So let's end this and then have you connect back to the meeting.
Okay.
That should work.
This is end meeting for all.
Yep. End meeting for all. There